I've been thinking a lot about what it means to be exceptional and to become exceptional. When I think about an exceptional person or an exceptional thing, I think about someone or something that is unique, that stands above the rest, that is of a high standard, of a high quality. To be exceptional means that there's nothing else like it. And it's a fascinating topic because all of us are already exceptional. There will never be another you, and there will never be another me. There will never be someone who walks like me, talks like me, sounds like me when I sing, who presents themselves like me. There will never be someone like you who has the connections that you have, who moves the way you do, who sounds the way you sound, who smells the way you do. You are an extremely unique being, and so am I. But we're constantly in the pursuit of what it means to be exceptional, and many of us don't get there because we're basing our idea of what it means to be exceptional on an external example versus looking in the mirror and challenging ourselves to be better than we were yesterday. Challenging ourselves to be unique, to be authentic, to stand out in the crowd. I'm sure many of you can think of a situation where you saw someone that you were so enamored with, and when you saw them, nobody else in the crowd existed. It was because they were exceptional. And being exceptional is rare. It's easy to be normal because most people are normal. Most people aren't willing to do the work that is required to be exceptional. To be exceptional, there is a certain level of introspection that takes place when you understand who you are and you are willing to have the persistence, the consistency, the discipline, and the audacity that is required to be exceptional. Nobody exceptional ever did so without audacity. I was researching a few examples of exceptional people who've done some amazing things, and I ran across a story about a young man by the name of Jack Andrica from Maryland, 15 years old, and he decided that he wanted to develop a way to test for various cancers that was more efficient and cost effective than what was available at that time. Now, Jack had gone to about 200 research facilities before he got his first yes from Johns Hopkins University. That took persistence, consistency, discipline, and audacity. The other example that I ran across, which many of you may be familiar with, was Colonel Sanders, who at 65 decided that he wanted to believe in his recipe and took the necessary steps to pitch about 1,000 restaurants before he went on to grow and build a global brand. That is KFC. That took persistence, consistency, discipline, and audacity. It takes a lot of audacity to be vulnerable enough to take your vision and put it in front of thousands of people, especially in a society that favors individualism over collaboration, that's built on tearing people down at every chance that we get because we're insecure in our own path. It takes a lot of audacity to be authentic in who you are and to step into the vision and to take action for the vision that you have for your life. That's exceptional. That is rare. And so if you do anything in the span of time that you are here on this planet, strive to be exceptional. Strive to be an exceptional version of you. But that's hard. It's hard to look yourself in the mirror and say, you can do better. You know you can do better. It's hard to look yourself in the mirror and say, you can do better with your finances. You didn't have to spend that. You can do better with your health. You didn't have to eat that. You didn't have to consume that. You can do better with your intellect. You should be reading different things. You can do better with the relationships that you have with your children, with your parents. You can do better in your spiritual connection with God. You can do better. But it is sometimes overwhelming because there's so many different things to think about. Most of it involving bills. And we can't come up for air enough to be and to become exceptional. But you are already exceptional. So in your pursuit of becoming exceptional, there are a few things that I found that help lighten the load. Number one is having grace with yourself. You're going to make mistakes. With every rise, there is a fall. Everything that glitters isn't gold. All these sayings that we hear, they may on the surface just sound like sayings, but there's so much truth and power in them. There is no light without dark. You can't have success without failure. As you're becoming an exceptional being, there will be moments where you don't feel quite exceptional. But just know that you are. Because you're unique and you're still here. You still have the opportunity to be better than you were yesterday. That is exceptional in and of itself. Because there are people that are leaving this place every day. It's hard sometimes for us to come up from air and get some air because of all the things that we have going on. But one way that I've found to, again, lighten the load, outside of having grace with yourself, the second thing would be to break large things down into small, manageable chunks. You don't have to tackle everything in a day, in a year. If you plan to live a long and full life, spend time with yourself. Spend time developing yourself. Pick one area in a year and work that area until you can't work that area anymore, because that one area is going to unlock so much potential for yourself. Who knows, you working on your health may unlock the spiritual connection and well-being that you were looking for, because you spent time with your body and you spent time meditating and thanking God and being with yourself. The physical area that you wanted to improve not only may impact your spiritual well-being, but also your emotional well-being, because when you exercise and when you treat your body well, it also shows up in your emotional state. That physical goal that you may have for yourself may also help your intellect, because when you exercise, it helps mental clarity. Pick an area, just one. It could be spiritual, but focus on what it means to be exceptional for you in that area. What it means to be exceptional is going to be different though for everybody. But an easy way to get to the meaning is to think about that thing you've been struggling with that you know you need to change and you haven't changed because you were okay with the complacency, because it hadn't really impacted you that much. But you knew that if you stopped this certain behavior, that it would drastically change and transform your life. You see, that's part of what it means to be exceptional. I'm leveling up from who I was yesterday because I'm overcoming patterns and behaviors that I know are preventing me from getting to the next level. I'm not going to get to the boss level because I'm still fighting with the peons. I'm still trying to figure out this puzzle down here. And it's not until I figure out this puzzle down here that I will be allowed by the universe, by this life, by source, by God, whatever you choose to believe in, to move to the next level. That's why I talk a lot about sitting with yourself. And we find new ways to challenge ourselves and to level ourselves and level up ourselves all the time. Think about the things that you do that you know impact others negatively, impact you negatively. What comes to your mind in this moment? And if you thought about something, that might be something that if you changed it today and spent time working it over the course of the next 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, that the state of being in your life will transform drastically. What could your life look like if you ate in a more healthy manner? Could your diabetes disappear? Could your cholesterol go down? And don't talk to me about any excuses about your culture, your mama, your grandmama, your daddy, and this is just what we do. Do you want to live an exceptional life? Because if you've made the decision that you want to live an exceptional life, it comes by making exceptional decisions. You can't live an exceptional life when you want to continue with the same old decisions that have you down the path that you've been going down that hasn't worked for you or your mama or your grandmama or your daddy or whoever else you want to blame your decisions on. Once you've become aware of patterns that are preventing you from elevating, it is incumbent upon you to take ownership of your life and to change those patterns by any means necessary. Your biggest fight in this life is with you, not with anybody else. Your biggest fight in this life is in transforming who you are and transforming your relationship to your habits in order to level up your own life to become exceptional. And as you begin to run out of things to challenge yourself on, life starts to become more peaceful. Life starts to level itself out. You see, I was in a phase where there were relationships that I knew were tumultuous and I needed to remove from my life. And it wasn't until I had the courage to transform my life by removing those relationships that my life was able to move to a very different dimension of peace for me. But that also came with a period of loneliness because I was on my way to shifting my mindset and my being to being around a different type of person. It's hard. But you don't have to tackle everything all at once. And outside of that, having a standard as you're figuring out the different things you want to tackle is extremely important because many of us don't have a standard. Many of us are willing to accept whatever's thrown at us as long as it's not quote unquote negative. Well, you know, I'm not dead, so I'll deal with it. Just throw it my way. We haven't set a standard for how we want to live, for how we want to be treated, for how we want to treat others, for how we want to show up and present ourselves. We haven't set a standard for that. Having a standard is empowering. Having a standard is your brand. And I know brand sounds very corporate and cold, and you know, I'll just say your spiritual signature, for lack of a better term. But it's your unique footprint that says this is who I am. When you see this, when you smell this, when you interact with this, you know you're interacting with me. That's my signature. That's my unique signature on this earth. When you experience me, you know that this is the level of experience that you're going to receive. And also, this is the level of experience I expect to receive. And if I don't, and if it does not align with my standard, then I then have to make some different choices about whether or not I choose to continue to experience it. But taking no action is never the answer, especially if you're someone who's made a decision that you want to live an exceptional life. So what does that action look like for you? What do you tell yourself today that you need to work on for the next year in order to transform yourself in this life? Because you're going to need focus. Your focus is your future. And unfortunately, we have too many options, too many things to think about, too many things distracting us and telling us we need to do this. We need to be a CPA. We need to be a lawyer. We need to be an investor. We need to be a relationship counselor. We need to be all of these things in order to survive out here now. But you have to decide what is priority for you without making excuses that someone else is preventing you, whether it be your child or your husband or your wife or your father or your mother, your sister, somebody else is preventing you from being the best version of yourself. Say that to yourself and see how this is. Somebody else is the reason I can't be the best version of myself. When you have full authority over yourself and who you choose to allow into your life at all times. Take back the power in your life. If you want to be exceptional, do exceptional things, make exceptional decisions, make the hard decisions, because it's those hard decisions that are going to move you closer to the exceptional life and the exceptional state of being that you want to live in. But you have to have the courage to be exceptional. Peace.